Patience is a virtue. All right. Oh, it's everybody's favorite Sunday. Okay. It's everybody's favorite Sunday. Everybody loves the Good Shepherd story. It's like the one that we start little kids on because you can make sheep out of their hands with cotton balls, you know? Handprint. Yeah, it's an adorable Sunday. Yeah, if any Sunday school stuff, it's cute. Anyone here adore sheep? I think they're adorable. They're adorable. They are. They're just, I know. I'm working on my husband to get a couple. Someday. He's building a fence right now. I don't know what's going to live in the fence, but we're getting a fence. So, you know, it could be a few years from now. But anyway, sheep are cute. This is a good fun story because everyone loves a pastoral scene of, you know, the English countryside with the frolicking sheep and the beautiful border collie. You know, we all love this story. It's adorable. But, and I'm going to sit down because eventually I'll get tired and then we'll all be bored. Okay. But sometimes I think we miss some of this story. So I want us to go a little deeper dive into the story. The other popular thing to tell you guys is that sheep suck and they stink and they're really, really dumb and we're sheep. That's another popular take. If you've been in the Episcopal Church long enough or in the church long enough, you've heard that we're dumb sheep and we stink.
Sheep do not stink.
They
are not dumb.
Exactly. Thank you. Yes. So we're not going to go. That's right. And it's really good for growing things. So we're not going to trash sheep today, and I'm not going to trash you for being a sheep. Or the favorite sheeple. You know, we like to call people sheeple now. You're such a sheeple. Yeah, I know. That's a political, nasty term that we call people, sheeple. Whatever. But we're not going to do any of that today because that's pointless and not helpful. So I want to do a deeper dive into the role of the shepherd versus the hired hand because I think that's really where God is calling us to take a deeper dive. And we know from this story, the reason Jesus is using this story is because it's a very common theme, right? So it would be, if I were to take a very common theme, something that all of you know, what is a job that everybody has experience with? What? Yeah, food service or teachers, right? We all have experience with those fields. So Jesus is using like that, right? So I am the good teacher, right? I'm the good teacher. I'm the one who cares about you. I'm the one who takes a bullet for you. I'm that one, right? Versus I'm just here for the job, right? I'm here to tell you, no educator is there for the job. We get paid terribly. If you come across a teacher, like, none of them are greedy. Because, like, literally, a job at McDonald's pays you better. But it's fine. And you only have to have multiple master's degrees to do it. But anyway, so does that make sense that he's using an image that everyone kind of understands, has experience with and understands it? Okay. But for us, because we're a little bit further removed, most of us don't have a lot of experience with shepherds and sheep herding and things like that, right? So we have to take a little bit more time on this story. So again, Jesus is using the image of the person who, those are that person's sheep, right? And you have a deeper connection with your dog than you do with other people's dog. I mean, not me, I love all dogs, but, right? Like when it's your animal or your thing, you have a deeper connection. Like Ted has a deeper connection with his new boat than other people's boats. He just does. Right? So we have a deeper connection, right? And that's what Jesus is saying. He's going to make me pay for that later. It's fine. He's like, I'm planning. Okay, so the hired hand is an important role, right? Like if you have a large farm or a large school or any large thing, like there are supporting roles that you have to have. Like any teacher will tell you that the paras are central to their existence, okay? The custodians are central. The secretaries are central to our job. It's not the same job, right? And you don't necessarily have the same connection with all the students. Like I have a fantastic custodian, but does he have the same connection that I have with the students that I know everything about? No. Now, that's not a bad thing. The hired hand isn't a bad role. It's just different. But the issue is when push comes to shove and our wolves show up, and we all have our own wolves, right? We all have our own temptations. We all have our own personal struggles. We all have our own wolves. So when our wolves show up, the hired hand isn't going to be as helpful as the good shepherd. I would argue with you that our hired hand is money. I challenge us today to think about that. And there are all sorts of hired hands out there, right? But the one I really want us to focus on is wealth and money. Because we have these extreme views on it, that wealth is everything, that money is everything, that money becomes our God, right? Right? You say, yeah, I mean, we all struggle with it. We all struggle with money and wealth. Then we have the opposite extreme, which is like money is bad, it's evil. Wealth is bad and evil. Anyone who has it is a horrible, awful person and whatever, right? So we have these two struggling views. But I challenge you that money is the hired hand. It's not bad. It's not. It's very, very useful. I mean, I'm here to tell you, we got a vestry meeting today, and I will tell you the number one thing that I'm always arguing with that vestry about is money, because we're always struggling with it. In fact, I will give you a shout out. Last week, the bishop and the archdeacon were like, I can't even tell you what it's like to be in your church, because the love and connection that this church has, we just have fun together. This church loves being together. And when your job is traveling around all the churches in the diocese, I'm here to tell you St. Han's is not all the churches in the diocese. Yeah. Yeah, we're not. And I said, yeah, I mean, it's amazing to be part of this church. It really is. We have our struggles. Our struggles are money. That's not a bad, so I'm not here to tell you that money is a bad thing. It isn't. But it is a bad thing when we depend on it entirely, when it becomes the thing that we trust the most, the almighty dollar. Then it becomes an issue, because when the wolves come, money is not going to help you. When you struggle with depression or mental illness, when you struggle with addiction, when you struggle with your family is falling apart, when you struggle with your career, when you struggle with your wolves, there is not a single wolf that throwing all the money at the world at it will fix. Just won't. In fact, sometimes the money feeds the wolf. Sometimes the money can become the wolf. So I want to challenge us today to think about that, to think about, where does our allegiance lie? Because that's really the issue. The issue is, if we can trust God to be our good shepherd, then money supports. Then money is a hired hand that supports what God is doing in the world. Because I'm here to tell you, ministry needs money. It does. All the things that we want to do overseas, all the things that we want to do in our community, we need money, right? It's a hired hand. It helps. But the reason that the church is struggling so much, one of the large reasons that the church is struggling so much in our society, we've got other struggles too, like some of the things that we say or do. But also one of the things is because we're up against things that money can buy. We're up against fun that money can buy. I'm never going to be able to compete with a football game. Okay? I just can't. Now, if you watch me get tackled, you might be like, that was entertaining. But probably not enough to pay a couple $1,000s for a seat to watch it. I mean, if you would, I'd probably be okay with it. You let me know if that's a fundraiser you're up for. But I can't compete with soccer. I can't. Because there are all these things that are going on in our society that say we need to do this. You need to do this. If you want your kid to get a scholarship, then they need to do this, right? There are so many things pulling us in 500 different directions. And the money can become part of that. It gets pulled into that. The entertainment value. So what I encourage us to think about is, how does our hired hand help us? And how do we prevent our hired hand from becoming our shepherd? Also, I would gladly take a tackle if it got us on budget. We want you to know that you're welcome to join us at 10 a.m. on Sundays. Please be sure to hit subscribe to receive our sermons. We can't wait to meet you.